Well, here we are. I can't believe I've been pulled out of retirement. My rotting corpse was dug up. I was fine, just letting sleeping dogs lie. And then I find out that they actually are going through with Arcane Season 2. I get messaged on Discord about it, and people are like, can you believe they're making Arcane Season 2? And I was like, you're a jokester. You're not telling the truth. Turns out they were telling the truth, and it's out now. Not all of it, because Netflix decided to release it periodically for no reason other than just like artificially generating hype, which from the looks of it hasn't really worked out that well. Now, I've talked about Arcane before. We're no stranger to Arcane violence here. The first season was really bad. I covered that extensively in at least one video. I might have made two. I might have made a response to my own video. Yeah, Arcane Season 1 was bad. Was it the worst thing ever? Nah, probably not. Was it the worst thing of that year? I don't know. I didn't watch every single thing that existed that year, but it was pretty bad. The first season was dog shit, and I covered that very well in my original video. So we're not going to go too much into season 1 stuff, but you might not believe me when I say this. I'm a pretty fair person. Like, I know it seems like I'm just a generational hater, and for Arcane, hell yeah. But even for Arcane, I gave it a fair chance for season 2. Like, I was like, okay, season 2's coming out. I'm going to go into this fresh slate. It's been years. It's been so long that I don't think anybody even remembers this show, which is kind of a good strategy if you think about it. If you release season 1 of a show and it's terrible, wait so long to release season 2 that people forget that. And it's so many years that people are genuinely nostalgic. That's a good strat. So I went into this clean. It's bad. It's still dog shit. It's trash. Let's talk about, I don't know, how the show must not have been too much of a hit. Everybody's over here acting like Arcane is freaking peak fiction, dude. Really? Because the second season is its final season, and it was only 18 episodes total, by the way. That's not very many episodes for a show. If this show was actually successful, like, let's be real here with each other, if this show was actually successful, they could have made like roughly 1 million seasons of it. So at this point, I think it's kind of irrefutable that I was entirely correct about it being faked, the success of Arcane Season 1 not being genuine. That's not super uncommon. Artificially inflating via marketing tactics is something that a lot of stuff does. Shows, games, movies, songs, even. But it's like hard to prove with a one and done. It's like, was it lightning in a bottle, or did they, pay for this privilege? And now we know season 1 of Arcane was clearly not the success that it was made out to be. So let's get into why it's bad, why I think it's bad, and if I think it's bad, it just is bad. Visually, it still looks like complete dog ass, because it just does. We'll go more into that later, and that's a shame. It's a shame that it looks like puke from an asshole, because the animation itself, the bones on which this travesty is built, are, I would say, decent. I think the actual animators did an okay job. However, overall, this show looks like if Ruby had an actual budget instead of like $8 and a case of Red Bull per episode. And I'm allowed to say that, by the way. Okay? I've seen every season of Ruby. I've watched every single episode of Ruby. I am on record as a Ruby is so bad, it's fun, and it's good. But what Ruby has that Arcane does not have is charm. Maybe I should make a Ruby video. I'm a better Ruby fan than you, so shut up. But we won't go too much more to Ruby in this one. Let's talk about one of our main characters, and one of the characters this show is trying really hard to fucking push, and that's Caitlyn. Caitlyn still looks like a demon from hell. So I'm glad that didn't change between seasons. It's actually okay, real talk. Why the fuck does Caitlyn look like that? Because there are plenty of other characters who just look like humans, who look normal. Like Jace, he doesn't look especially cool, but he just looks like a dude. He just looks like a guy. Why does Caitlyn look like a fucking demon from the boiler room of hell? I do not understand. And here's the thing, even though most characters don't look as bad fundamentally as Caitlyn, they still look bad and weird. And I guess we can go into this because last time I made a video about Arcane, people were like, you did not give enough technical feedback about the visual design of the Arcane show, which I love. First of all, shut up, nerd. Second of all, if I gave super technical feedback, which I'm not necessarily qualified to do, um, like, what would it have meant to you? You're a League of Legends fan. Here's some technical feedback for you. Why don't you go get in the fucking shower, dude? Anyways, the shading in Arcane is horrendous. At least I think it's shading. I'm not 100% sure. And I say that because I do know what shading is. This doesn't ever actually seem to be tied to a light source. Like what I would say is probably shading. It's very confusing how it has been implemented in this show. Like, look at this random picture of a character I grabbed. And I paused on a random character. Like, you don't have to believe this. It doesn't make it any less true, but it was entirely random. I paused on a character in a close-up and just opened the snipping tool. There is like 15 different shades of skin tone on this person here, ranging from very pale to like dark, dark, dark. And this shading makes absolutely no sense for somebody who is directly facing a huge light source. Like they are head on facing the light source in this scene. The shadows are way too dark in places, and in some cases, like her chin or the, like besides the bridge of her nose, they're placed entirely inappropriately. Also, editor's note here, I guess her hair is immune to the effects of light and does not cast any detectable shadows whatsoever. Why would there be insanely dark shadows on her chin that is being hit by light directly and not one single shadow caused by the 50 different strands of hair hanging in front of her face? Riddle me that, Buster. Arcane fans are stupid, though. Okay, sorry. They're very stupid. So they'll probably say something like, hey, gee dang it, who cares if this one character has god-awful shading for this one scene? I don't. My mom cleans my room for me. Well, that's a good point, little Arcane Andrew, but you're sadly mistaken. This is just how the show looks, which creates a very off-putting visual effect. The entire point of shading, typically, is to give your characters depth, make them feel like they belong in their respective scene. And since everyone in Arcane has basically static shading, it makes them look both extra fake, which is weird to say about an animated show, but it makes them look extra fake in a creepy way. And also, like this woman here, it makes her look disease-ridden. Something is wrong with her face skin. Okay, nobody actually cares about like the technicals, really, as I just proved, because everybody zoned out in that shading discussion, including me. The story is still bad. If anything, it's actually gotten worse in season 2. I've decided it's gotten worse in season 2. Divided siblings and classism are not exactly untapped niches. Classism, I would say, probably peaked in popularity and then fell off after like Parasite and The Jonkler, the first one, not the second. So it's not exactly a timely choice here to really like hard commit to that storyline. The characters are how to describe it? They are butt ass. They're so bad. The main characters, especially. I mean, the side characters, there's like some funny little dudes, but the main characters are the main characters, and they're so bad in Arcane, and they're so much worse in season 2 than they were in season 1. Jinx makes no sense. Jinx made no sense as a villain or like a side villain in season 1 because she went completely insane for no reason. At like very little happened to Jinx overall, and nothing happened to Jinx that we saw that didn't happen to other people who were just fine. And I guess Jinx is now the Joker, like the old man Joker who was like, "You get what you fucking deserve, pal." Bang. That's Jinx's jonking now, except for if the Joker was a literal child, a Nepo baby, and had no real skills or training, no like goofy comic book powers to just be so zany, he always ends up on top. Jinx has the superpower of being a Tumblr user who's hashtag so broken and hashtag so abandoned. She frustrates me so much because she makes no sense as like this symbol of Zaun's rage at being so downtrodden. She gets adopted by a successful, loving surrogate father who then died. Oops. Only for her to get adopted by an even more successful father who was, I'll admit, probably less traditionally loving, but seemed to genuinely care about Jinx and like try his best. And he was a fucked up weird guy, but like he was doing it. Why would these gritty underworld criminals who've had to like claw their way up from genuinely nothing, not like her, why would they look up to her or fear her? She has not achieved anything on her own and has had everything in life handed to her on a silver platter. Pray tell, why would they give a fuck about this actual child? And then there's Vi and Caitlyn. I guess we can touch on Jace really quick. Jace and Victor too. They're like just nothing characters. Jace is like, "Hey, Caitlyn, oh boy, I can't wait to make you guys weapons to fight Jinx. I'm here too." That's Jace. And then Vi and Caitlyn are such non-starters. Neither of them work the way the writers want them to, and neither of them are interesting, which is quite frankly worse than being bad, is being boring for a piece of media. Vi, in particular, kind of pisses me off because there's like the whole refusal of the call trope going on, or I can't get that badge away from me. I can't be a cop. My parents were killed by cops. Urgh. Vi, your parents deserved it, you shit rat. Like the first time we were introduced to you, you were a criminal, and also you have only ever existed around criminals. You're objectively a bad person, and you should be clawing at this chance for redemption, not being like, "Oh, no, Caitlyn, I know we're gay together, but get that badge away from me." Fuck off, idiot. And I get why in the story Vi doesn't go just murder Jinx in 2 seconds, but why doesn't Caitlyn, or really anyone for that matter, just go shoot her in the head with a gun? One of the many guns we see her ops have. Caitlyn actually, there's quite a scene revealing Caitlyn's gun. Imagine how well it would shoot Jinx in the fucking head. Like, and then their whole dynamic is so lame. It's like some Netflix executive came into the animation studio's office and was like, "Make them gay. Not too gay. Just gay enough. We want to make Tumblr users go crazy for some fucking reason. We want to appeal to Tumblr users who have historically the least purchasing power of any group of people. Make them gay. Not too gay, though. We don't want it to be off-putting, but a little gay. Just a little gay. That's my producer's note. I'm twirling my Netflix mustache. Make them gay." I do not buy them having any kind of chemistry for a second. Because here's a genuine question. Okay? Level with me. You to me. Right now. You watching this, look me in my eyes. We're going to level with each other. Let's treat these like they're real people. Vi and Caitlyn. What the fuck do these two talk about? Genuinely. From what we've seen, okay, let's just compare their backgrounds, right? Vi, street trash, who grew up committing crimes, was a born and raised criminal from essentially birth, garbage homeless person, okay? Who loves fighting, roughhousing, hooliganism, the like. Then there's Caitlyn, who is a high-born, purpose-driven woman with a strong sense of duty, okay? The only commonality between these two characters, personality-wise, is that they both have a sense of justice. It is a conflicting sense. What do they talk about? You know, when they're having their not too gay sleepover, what do they talk about? Genuinely. Like, they don't seem like either of them have hobbies. Their Vi is busy being like angsty, and Caitlyn is busy being like, I don't know if I can live up my family's fucking legacy. Jesus, I just want to shoot people with my gun. What do they talk about? What do they do? Do they have hobbies that at all? First of all, do they have hobbies? And do they have a lot of overlap? These two characters are from completely different worlds. I do not buy for a second that they would actively desire to spend time in each other's presence. The only thing even legitimately tying them together is Jinx, and that is the most paper-thin bullshit of all time. Neither of these two feel like actual lived-in characters, so I do not buy for a second that either of them are capable of loving each other, because why the fuck would they? Like, Caitlyn and not Caitlyn and Jinx, Caitlyn and Jace would legitimately be more believable than this stupid half-assed Vi and Caitlyn thing. And I wish, oh, how amazing it would be if these two characters were awesome and like they had these moments of big chemistry and we're like, oh my gosh, they're like more people than I even thought. But I watched the entirety of season 1 and I watched Vi fucking stumble her way through the world, never really doing anything. That's the other thing, is that Vi is a character with very little agency, and characters without agency are almost never compelling or like admirable or worth rooting for. They're just nothing. She's just there. Like, oh, Vi's gonna Vi's gonna punch you. I would just shoot Vi in the head with a gun. I don't understand. Guns are in play. Fuck off. It's so annoying. I'm not crazy. Maybe a little bit. But like, I just don't care about Vi. I care about Caitlyn because she looks like a demon from hell. So I want to see what, Beelzebub over here is going to do. But I don't care about what they do together. I don't care about what Jace does at all. I don't care about anybody. Really, I care about Jinx because I want to see Jinx get shot in the head like she deserves. But I don't think she's a sympathetic character. And this show's stupid. To be entirely real with you guys, is it the worst thing ever made? No, of course not. It's got a huge budget, but like I said, it's not interesting. It's less lovable than Ruby. And Ruby is terrible and it looks terrible and the story and the characters are terrible, but it's terrible in a way where you can tell that it has a lot of heart behind it. And a lot of people who are really trying and who really care. And Arcane just feels so assembly line and soulless. And it is impossible for me to look past the fact that it is made by League of Legends, which is I can't believe we've allowed these people to even start to get into mainstream media. League of Legends, the game with the most despicable, deplorable fan base and player base of all time. I don't even play League of Legends, and League of Legends players are so stupid. I'm pretty sure anyone who's watching this video, I could be better than you at League of Legends in a week. Not that it matters, because Unlike you guys, I shower. But yeah, Arcane is stupid. It's just stupid and soulless. The people who like it are stupid. And the stupidest people of all are the people who pretend to like it to fit in to the League of Legends crowd. You're twice as stupid as even me. And I'm the dumbest man that is in this room right now. So, TLDR, fuck Arcane. And I'm glad that this show was a colossal failure and didn't make any money.